Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another Illumicrate read for you and a vlog. Crazy, I know. This is a rather vengeful quote by Danielle Knight. Looks beautiful, and the back says, "Insults demand answers." This is the book. When I got it and I opened up without just checking it, I said, "This looks like Lady Gaga." Because, sorry, but does not look like Lady Gaga. Look at it. Look, is that not? Come on. I have no idea what this is about. This is how I usually read the books. I'm going fully right. I'm just going to read you the first paragraph that it says. At the elite college of St. Petergas, gravers raised the dead and turned corpses into unnatural abominations, while spirers battle undead horrors in grand arenas, thrilling crowds with divine spectacle. So this is apparently Danielle Knight's debut novel. Oh, I'm excited. Let's see the end pages. Sometimes they can give you a bit, I don't want to say a spoiler, but they can show you what direction the story will take. Or sword fight. More like fencing. This person here looks like the dress for fencing. Okay, and the other page? In the library. So is this like a dog academia thing? I would say so because it says you're at elite college. It's a dog academia. I'm not really that into dog academia, but I'll give it a try. Content warnings and the glossary can be found in the back of the book. Okay, let me just, if you're interested in the book, let me tell you what the content warnings are. Necromancy, fighting, poisoning, and emesis as a result, neglect and emotional abuse by parents, bullying, manipulation of a child by an authority figure, miscarriage and stillbirth, murder, and alcohol use. And like they said, they have a glossary. You know what the abyss is, what the choir is. What else do we have here? The prelate for the gravers, what donations are, what Erians are. Okay, that is very, very interesting to have. I might have to put a post-it note there or a bookmark or something so I can actually look back on it. I don't have a bookmark, so I have a footnote here. I'll put that in there. And it also shows me that the book is 382 pages long. I'm going to start this not now, I'm going to take a nap. The thing is, we had daylight savings today. I don't know if this is the same around the entire planet. Probably not, I don't think so. And technically it will be an hour earlier than it is, right? The clock went forward an hour, so getting that 1 hour less of sleep is rough. Especially on the weekends where you usually stay up a bit longer. I will take it up. Also, I will give you the first. They have those are nice runes. Maybe. It's always nice to see how a book starts, right? So we have chapter 1, a vile, imperious energy. When the moment of truth arrives at the gorgeously grey and horrible morning, I haven't even tried to sleep. Like I said, I'm not really a dark academia fan, because everything I read so far, I'm not really into the academia side of things, right? I love knowledge. Well, I don't love knowledge, but I love having knowledge, and sometimes I go deep diving into the rabbit hole of various things, but sometimes in book form it is a bit tedious, if you know what I mean. But always good, always good. And it seems like, you have like necromancy going on as well, where you might have a bit of like an ancient Rome theme going on, where people have to fight in an arena against the dead or the zombies, the undead horse. I'm hooked. I'm coming back more when I'm as I always say, I'm coming back when I'm either halfway done with the book or when something amazing happens. Yeah, bye. I just quickly want to tell you that I'm, I think, 30 pages in or so, and I found that with the other vlogs that I do, when I only check in like the halfway mark, I forget quite a lot of things, and it just gets very rambly and yappy, as it is always with me, right? So I'm 30 pages in, and so far we have met off 2 main characters, maybe a possible support character. We have Hal, H-A-L, Hal. Not like the computer, but her. This one here. And then we have Alistair. That is already such a fancy, rich name, you know what I mean? And he is fancy and rich. And then we have Miriam, who I think is Hal's best friend, or at least close acquaintance, whatever. Oh, her actual name is Helen. H-A-L-E-N. They're all at a school, it's an academic setting, and she's studying on bodies. Now there's a whole glossary at the end of the book. I don't have it here right now, it's downstairs. and I'm not going to get it. And Miriam comes over and says, listen, you have to come back to the school right now because there are 2 abattoirs. So she goes over and then she has to battle with Alistair because the abattoirs are there to see who's actually worthy enough of entering the, I have it here, St. Pendergast college. Like that is an elite college, and Hal actually wants to enter it because she wants to work with Mortitis, I think, who is one of the well-known gravers ever. Gravers, like, they're basically people that work with dead bodies, you know, like a necromancer, and she wants to work with that person, and she's training very hard, practicing on the corpses while she should actually be fighting and proving herself. She really wants that space at the elite college. Alistair, however, apparently already got a safe spot there because his parents are rich and influential. So she's like, why are you even here fighting with me if you already have a safe spot at the elite college? So they fight, and they really hate each other, but as we all know, with books like these, they will probably fall in love. There's probably a huge quest that they have to do, and at the end, you know, they have to work together and then kiss, you know what I mean? But yeah, like, it's basically, the fight that they were supposed to have is basically just a demonstration of who's better and who has better skills and who trained harder and whatnot, but it goes a little sideways because Hal actually blacks out and then wakes up with a broken rib, and that's why I'm okay. They really cannot stand each other. But I feel like there's more to both characters, right? Why they are the way they are. It's a lot, because, like I said, you have the whole glossary at the end, and, you know, I always have to refer back to it because it's just, I feel like, especially these first chapters, you just get everything thrown at you to, of course, build the world and build the magic system and whatnot, but it's a lot. I'm now at the point where the abattoirs are coming in and they make the fun decision of who gets to stay at the elite college and who has to stay at this school for another year, or maybe they get kicked out of school, I have no idea. So that's where I'm at, and I'm going to continue to read now. Hello, I have made some progress, and now I currently have 3 bookmarks in here. One is where I'm currently at, which is page 110, and the other one is where I want to read today, page 156. Just, you know, it's just my goal to read until that page. And then the last bookmark is the glossary, because you might hear this. Not that much has happened, but then again, a lot has happened. So both our protagonists are now at Pendergast, and guess who is the proxy to the schoolmaster? Alistair's brother. Of course, he looks the same, but he's older. You know, he made it very clear when he came to greet them. He was the one who actually picked them up and, you know, welcomed them to the school or college or whatever it is. And he was like, but do not forget, I am 2 years his senior, and he's apparently the oldest child, the golden child. He can never do anything wrong, he's the best. Yeah. So I think Alistair is not really a fan of his brother. And so far from what I gathered, his brother, whose name, let me tell you, is Tieran Sebastian. Tieran. He's very cocky. Is that because he actually thinks he is the best, or is it because he isn't the best? I mean, he must have done something right to be the proxy of the headmaster of the school. And, you know, they came in, imagine Hogwarts, they came in, everyone's staring at them, because they're obviously 2 people. Usually you only have 1, but they're 2, and then you also have Hel, who is not supposed to be there. You know, like, she's supposed to be a graver and not a spirer. So we have gravers and spirers. Gravers are practitioners of sorcery that comprise the Commonwealth's military. Gravers transform corpses into undead monsters for use in battle. Then spirers are professional Irian slayers who perform for crowds in arenas. Their sport, known as the Hallowed Game, is by far the most beloved in the Commonwealth. So you have the necromancer and you have the Roman gladiator. You know what I mean? She's not supposed to be there, and you can tell, like, everyone in that school is just like a high fashion and beautiful and smart and doesn't really get their hands dirty. And then you have Hel, who is bringing the dead back to life. She's lacking, of course. She never learned or practiced sparring. She's more like for the rune stuff, as you can also see here. I finished in the middle of a chapter that is madness. You know, runes here, I think there are like over 1,000 something signs and runes that whatever that you need to know. If not, you always have to keep your book handy. If one of them wants to get into a school, the other one has to as well. They have to work together and to show their oneness as a whole. So yeah, I'm curious to see. Ooh. The thing is, I feel like Hel, she's a bit obnoxious and a bit exhausting as well. Because yes, I know I'm just calling Al because Alistair is just weird. Al is yes, he is your arch enemy, and yes, he is a perfect aspirer and good looking and very good academic wise as well. You are not. You are just good at what you have practiced or what you wanted to become, right? She's like whatever she is good at grieving, she's lacking in all the prospects of her academic career, right? At some point, you need to realize that you have to work together. If you really want to work for Mortitis, the greatest graver of all time, you need to stay at that school, and you actually need to be accepted into that school. So she's very obnoxious from time to time. Yes, I get it. You don't really want to deal with that guy, but then at least listen to what he has to say. Because did you know that he is related to Mortitis? Because she's actually his aunt, right? Because his mother is not from a noble family. She's actually from a graver kind of family, you know what I mean? So he promised Hal that if she comes to that school and actually does her best, he will actually introduce her to Moore. I'm just going to call her Moore because it fits well with Akotar. Moore. So she reluctantly said yes, and now we're at the school, and I have no idea what's about her. I think I saw, was it Goodreads, was it Fable, Storygraph, I have no idea. This is a duology, or supposed to be a duology. And it took me way too long to realize that over here, the person, Lady Gaga, is holding a different weapon than over here. I did not see that. I did not see that. It's going to be very curious and exciting to see how Hal is actually holding up in the arena fights, because, I mean, obviously they don't look like actual gladiators, but she's not prone to fighting. It's going to be a mess. And I feel like Al has to pull her through, or she gets totally annihilated, and Hal in return also gets points deducted because he happens to said that they should entertain and they should show what they can, what they're capable of. That's what I'm at right now. I wrote quite a lot down for 100 pages. 110 pages. The thing is, as soon as I heard that this was duology, I don't want to say that my excitement was dampened, but I feel like I will not get the closure that I want in this book. Unless it ends, and then the next book starts, I don't want to say a whole new story, but it starts. I don't want this to be a huge cliffhanger. Because I don't know if I would want to get the second book. What if I only enjoyed this? So-so, right? I would give it 3 stars. And then the cliffhanger makes me want to get the second book that I might also only enjoy so-so. Yeah, I'm curious to see. I hope the end is good. I hope it's not ending on a huge cliffhanger. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it would dampen my mood, but I rather have standalones. I don't like, it's gonna sound so snobby of me, but I don't like reading series or duologies where the second book is not even published yet, right? Because I have a terrible memory, and if I cannot read the books back to back, or at least for Akotar, those books are announced and they're coming out, I will not remember what happened in this book. Anyways, I'm going to continue to read, and then I will pop back once I'm halfway done with the book, I think. Or once Hal has been in the arena and has almost been slaughtered. Hi. It has been over a week since I started this book, and I'm fucking done with it. I don't know what it was. I feel like this book put me into the biggest reading slump this year. Because whenever, I try to read 20 minutes a day. That's just a goal that I set myself. And for the most part, I actually achieve it. However, every time I thought about picking this up, I thought, oh, do I really have to do this now? So, I don't know what it even was. It's the characters that I don't really connect with. It's the story that is just not that well written. Because obviously, it sounds good in my head, right? The Graver, who is like a necromancer, and then you have the Sparrow, who is a kind of like a gladiator. They have to work together, and if one of them fails, the other one will fail as well. But they're both trying to get into that elite college. So they have to work together. The thing is, Hal, she's very obnoxious, She's never friendly with anyone. She's always in a bad mood. Everyone wants something bad happening to her, even though that's not true. But she's, I get it. But just to a certain point, afterwards it's just very obnoxious and annoying. And that's what she was. Alistair, of course, he's the perfect boy, or the perfect student who was not really loved by his parents and was kind of put into an exile at that school that they're currently at, and then still trying to get into the college because he's still a top spirer and he wants to prove himself. No, it's just, Alistair, he's obviously trying to be nicer to Hal because maybe he has ulterior motives. He wants to get into that college as well, but sometimes, he's actually really trying to be nice to her, and then Hal's like, nah, I hate you. What? Always the the name calling as well is never more intense, you know, it's like shitface or something, you know, it's not like borderline rude, right? It's just like, oh, what do you want again, shitface, stuff like that. It's just like every single time, like, how old are you? If you really want to get into that college, you have to work with them whether you like it or not. So why are you still making it more difficult than it actually is? And then, you know, there's a lot of battle going on, it's giving like Hunger Games where they're trying to win over rich people and we call professors and all to actually make it to the college and all. And it's just, the way it was written, it's just, like I said, I put me into a very big brain slump and I did not want to finish it. However, it counts for Hercules, so I have to finish it. Then towards the end, something happens that is very, like, for a shock value, right? Something happens and it turns out it is apparently, supposedly, that one person, and it just does not make sense because everything that person has done in the book does not, like, it just not matches up with what they have apparently, supposedly done. And it continues in the second book. I do not care. I feel like, you know, the book was so close to be done, but given the fact that the author wasted so much time on unnecessary stuff, you know, the banter in between, and you know what, I'm just going to quit it all and I'm go and work with more treatise because I don't need you and whatnot, you know. If all of that would have been cut out, the book would have been much smaller and everything could have been put into one book instead of two. But given the fact that the story went on for way too fucking long, there's a second book now because the author could not wrap it up in one go. I have to stop talking about this. I did not like it. I give it 2 stars. I will sell this book as well. Oh, by the way, the other one. What was the other one? Salt Swept. I sold that one only for €5, but it's gone. I already got a positive review on it. It's gone. This same with this. I do not want this in my house. It's just not that good, and it's not good enough for me to pick up the second book because I do not care. I don't care what this is. Like I said, the end, the way that apparently that person has done something, it's just not the personality. It's not in that, like, if you read a character chart, it is not like that person's just not. It just does not make sense. Let me know if you read this book and what you think of it. I know the ratings are all over the place. Some people really love this book. Some people don't. I give it a 2 star. And if you think about that, 3 is okay, but not great. 2 is still good, kind of, right? I mean, to get a 5 star for me, it has to be the best book. You know, it's something that gave me all the feels, that made me laugh, that made me cry. This is just not it. But it was also not a 1 star. It wasn't 2 stars. So anyways, that was it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Next one will be, you know, the vlog I'm still working on for Archive. It's not going great because, like I said, I read this book for a week. A week, and it's less than 400 pages. It's just insane. I did not want to pick this up at all. So yeah, I'm still working on the vlog. I haven't done or finished any prompts for my Hercules challenge yet, but I'm working on it because I got the 4th book in the Ecuador series, which is very thin, surprisingly, and then only 1 book to go, and then I'm done with the challenge because there's only 5 books as well. Yeah, so vlog will come up whenever I have collected a few clips, and then the next Illumicrate vlog will be what was it, the irresistible thing of falling in love with the enemy, something like that. Irresistible fate? No, what was it? I don't know what it was. Something with falling in love with the enemy. Let me know what you think of the book. I think the cover is pretty though. It looks much prettier than the other cover because the other cover, this is hell. The other cover also has Alistair on it, and they're kind of like just like again pictures here, you know, like in battle uniform. I like this more. Maybe because I really like purple. But that's not the story. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Unfortunately, it was only 2 star. Maybe the next one, the irresistible. It's not the irresistible urge to fall in love with the enemy. I will see that.